I'm so excited to share how you can use calendar blocking in your paper planner. Stay tuned. I've been hearing so much about calendar blocking, block scheduling. It's been popping up in my YouTube feed ever since the beginning of the year. And I've been using this system for a couple of months now, and I wanted to share with you how I was able to make it work for me being in a paper planner instead of like Google Calendar or some other digital type of calendar. Most of the videos that I've seen on block scheduling have been using a digital calendar, and it was frustrating for me because my brain doesn't work well with a digital calendar, but I knew that this would work for me. If you're new here, I'm Kara from the Hooting Pirate, and I do videos to keep you organized and productive, but also to make your planner pretty, because I believe when you open your planner and it's pretty and it makes you smile, it motivates you to get organized. So if that sounds like something you'd like to watch, hit the subscribe button. All you have to do is click that red button, and you can also hit the notification bell so you know when the next video comes out. At first, I wasn't sure if it was going to work for me because I really like having a bunch of tasks listed in my day and then attacking the ones that I'm really motivated to do. I'll just pick one that motivates me the most, and I was doing well at getting things done that way, but I thought this system would work better for me because the inspiration would come and find me working. And in The War of Art, Stephen Pressfield says, "When we sit down and work, we become like a magnetized rod that attracts iron filings. Ideas come. Insights accrete." So if you sit down to work, the ideas will come. This was reassuring to me as a creative person because I thought you had to wait for inspiration to strike. But if you're sitting down working, the inspiration will come. And that works really well with calendar blocking. It tells you when to sit down to work so that the inspiration can come. The first time I heard about it was from Amy Landino. And anytime Amy's told me to do something and I did it, it's always worked. So I wanted to do this so I could be more efficient, I'd get more done, I'd be more focused on the tasks that I was doing. And having it in my calendar at a specific time of day would be the motivation I needed to make sure that things got done. So basically, what calendar blocking, block scheduling, time blocking, what that is taking your tasks and assigning it a specific time on your calendar for a specific amount of time. Let's say I want to write a blog post that's going to take me an hour, so I block out an hour from 2 to 3 on a Wednesday afternoon. You schedule in all your tasks, appointments, anything you need to do, you plug it into your day at a certain time and you allot a certain amount of time for each thing. So if you have things in your calendar, you have a specific amount of time on a specific day at a certain time, then you know when your calendar is full and you can more easily say, no, I don't have time, and you can say no to things that just won't fit into your calendar. So these are the things that appeal to me, and I really wanted to get it to work in my paper planner. And I tried, I really did. I tried a lot of different ways and it just wasn't working. I tried mimicking the colors in my planner. Everything I tried to do, it just wasn't working. It was just, any solution that I tried was too time consuming, and that like defeats the purpose. So I just sort of gave up until Jordan Page's video on block scheduling popped up on my YouTube feed, and it was like a switch went off in my head. This was it. This is what I needed to do. So now I'm going to tell you how I got it to work so that maybe you can get it to work in your paper planner too. The thing that Jordan Page said that really hit home with me is to organize your days according to themes. I was doing tasks whenever I had time during the day. If I had a free hour in the morning, I could set an appointment. If we needed groceries, I would go on a day whenever I felt like it on that day. But the way she sets up her days, she has specific things that she does at certain times of day. So one day, it took me a really long time. One day I sat down and wrote out all the things that I did in the run of a week. Errands, groceries, household tasks, kid tasks, work stuff, YouTube, all that stuff. I put it all down, and then I broke up my day into different themes. And I noticed that there were already themes sort of emerging from what I was doing already. My early morning routine was mostly self-care. Afternoons were dedicated to kids. Evening was also kids, but also supper and household chores, and then of course sleep. The things that I found that were kind of sticky and mixed up were things that I was doing for my own work, YouTube and my blog and planner stuff, and it was all kind of mixed in with household tasks, whether that be administrative stuff or chores. It was all kind of jumbled together. Plus, whenever I had a free minute was when I would schedule in appointments, go for groceries, run errands, all that stuff. It was all during the day when the kids were at school. So what I decided to do was to break that up into morning and afternoon. So the mornings I could dedicate that time to working on YouTube, my blog, and anything like that that was just for me. But the afternoons was anything that would require me to leave the house, which I don't like doing. So I was happy to have my mornings at home, and the afternoons is when I would go for groceries, have any appointments scheduled, and that sort of thing. Plus, I'll do laundry, any administrative stuff for forms or things or calls I need to make. All that stuff is in the afternoons. Okay, so let's pop over to my desk now, and I will show you what I'm doing and how I've got this in my paper planner. Let's have a look at some of the attempts, the failed attempts that I tried to do calendar blocking in a paper planner. So Amy's video came out, I think the 13th of May, and you can see I started in right away trying to figure out how to get this to work for me in the same week. I don't know how well you can see the coloring, but I even tried to make it look pretty, but it was just taking too long and I wasn't having it, and there was no way that I was going to be able to color the blocks in the colors of my code every day. It was just too high maintenance, too hard to sustain. Then I thought maybe I have some stickers that would work. I've got some kits that would fit, but that was going to be really expensive, and honestly I didn't have a lot that fit the actual sizes that I wanted, and I wouldn't have the flexibility of picking the sizes if I was to just use stickers. Plus I'd have to wait for them to come in, so that was a bust. The next week was probably my most successful idea. Instead of coloring it in, I would just put a little bit of color along the side of the page, and that was working for that much, but it really wasn't working for me. It worked for the calendar blocking idea, but it just wasn't working for me. And then of course I spilled hot chocolate on it, but that's another thing. What I learned from this was that I was sort of spreading out the different tasks that I was doing, my personal things, my kids, they were all sort of jumbled up within the day. And then I went on, I tried it, I did color it out the next week, but then it wasn't working, so I gave up, and that was it for coloring in. I did have an idea of taking a laminated sheet, make a weekly spread on a laminated sheet, so that when I laid it on top, the things that I do on a regular basis would be shown, but then there'd be holes underneath so I could write in the new tasks that I would need to do that day. But it was just too complicated, and how would I write in my planner? I'd be writing on this laminated sheet every day, and I just said, forget it, it's too complicated, let's move on, try something else. I thought maybe I wasn't a calendar blocking person and that this system just wasn't for me. Then I think it was in August that Jordan Page's video came out, and so I sat down and I brainstormed all the things I did in the run of a day, and I came up with some rough copies. I even tried to do it digitally, but then I ended up printing it out and writing on it with paper. And the real aha moment came when I realized that what she did was to add themes to her day. So I sat down with a printed off blank calendar just to sort of draft out an idea of what I could do for my week. And not all my days are the same, but there's enough similarity or themes with different times of the day that I could work this out. All I needed to do was change my mornings and my afternoons and make sure they were almost sacred. Like in the mornings I would just do worky stuff, and in the afternoons I would do household things like run errands, go grocery shopping, and all that kind of thing. So I came up with this schedule for myself. It hangs in my kitchen. You can see that I have MacTech on the back, and I have it hung next to my calendar where my whole family schedule is, so I can follow what's going on every week and every day, so I know what needs to be done during the certain blocks of my day. If you watched my video yesterday, I set up this planner with the pretty pocket, and then I made this laminated little folder. I'm going to take it out so you can see it a bit better. Now, this was just a pretty cover, but then on the inside, these are my daily routines. So this is basically everything that I do on a regular basis. It's just the general idea of things that I'm going to do in the run of a day. So I've got my morning routine, I've got various tasks here for the morning, so depending on what's going on that day, if I'm filming or if I'm writing stuff for a new class, I will write those in my planner. And I'll show you how that works in a second. Lunch, my kids are home, so it's mostly having lunch with them, but I also stuck in advanced laundry. Then afternoon, the kids go back to school, and that's when I've got housework, errands, appointments, groceries, or bake. If I am making an appointment, whether I'm at the doctor's office or I'm on the phone with the hairdressers, I will set those appointments for afternoons only. Unless, for example, my kids needed their passports renewed and they only took renewals in the morning. So that was an exception to the rule, but when I have the choice, appointments are always in the afternoon. Then the kids come home, and this is all kids-centered. The evening starts at 7, so we'll eat supper probably around 7:30. I'll reset the kitchen, then they go to bed at different stages because they're all different ages. I try to go to bed between 9:30 and 10 so I can get some reading in before I fall asleep. And then on the back, I have my lunchtime routine. Now I put this here because this is the one that I'm having the most trouble with getting set as a habit. I'll put a link to yesterday's video and you can go watch that and see see how I've made this. So these are all icon stickers from various sticker tablets, and they match, well, most of them do. This is a little bus, pick up the kids from the bus, and then I've got another bus here to take them back. The dishes, there's actually like washing up liquid. I love it. So these are things that I want to do between 12 and 2 when the kids are home for lunch. Having it here makes it easy for me to see what needs to get done, and then I can check it off. I love checking things off, as you can see. And I just use a dry erase marker and like my finger. I've also set up a daily spread in this Carpe Diem daily insert, and I've got the different blocks chunked off. So if I have anything extra besides the stuff that's listed here that I need to get done in those blocks, then I will write the specific tasks in those blocks. For example, the work stuff, that all needs to get written in because there's nothing on here specific. The morning routine is pretty much, I do it on autopilot, so there might not be a lot of stuff to add to this section, but there may be stuff for the kids, or if I have an appointment in the afternoon or some sort of errand to run, that will go in here, or if I have something going on in the evening, that goes in that spot. And it's a fantastic idea to write in your specific tasks in the specific times, because as James Clear says in his new book, Atomic Habits, which is amazing, by the way, I highly suggest to any planner girl to run out and read this book right now. I'm only about 70 pages in, but I absolutely love it. So it's Atomic Habits, and I'll put the link below. But what he says is, people who make a specific plan for when and where they will perform a new habit are more likely to follow through. Too many people leave it up to chance and hope that we will just remember to do it or feel motivated at the right time. When I'm in my Commit 30, I don't have the hours blocked out. They are here listed, but I don't use that. I use just the blocks. Each square is usually a task. So this yellow square is broken up into 3 spots, and those will be things that I will do that has to do with the kids or the house. And these things are usually listed on my big calendar in the kitchen, so they don't need a lot of space. These 3 big squares I use as work tasks, so I'll put 1 task per block. And this is the same as if I was writing them in this block. You can see it's the way the day is blocked out. I don't have a lot of room, but I'm trying to get a lot of things done in these blocks. For me, it's a lot easier, the way my mind works, is to write them in these blocks, and then I can cross them off instead of trying to cram them all in here and have this space, for example, really blank. Having this schedule here allows me to know what block of my day I will do a certain task. So that way I don't need to write specific time of day that I'm going to do each task. I just know that it's going to get done in one of these blocks. Also, I know basically how much time something's going to take me. So if I have 2 of these blocks full and I know that both of those are big tasks, then the 3rd task that I'm going to put in there is going to have to be something small. Or if this section, for example, is really empty, I know that I can stick in a bigger task there. And I just sort of estimate, without actually using the number of hours, I know how much I can get done in a certain amount of time. So when I go to plan out my week or my day, if something comes up, I can look at this, know, okay, these things are going to take me a certain amount of time. Do I have time for this? When do I have time for this? Is it a morning block? Is it an afternoon block? What block am I going to put it in? And do I have time during that block on that day to do it? If not, it's going to have to go to a different day, or I'm just going to have to say no. I challenge you now to sit down and write out all the things that you do in the run of a day, even all throughout the week. See if there's any natural themes that arise or routines that you have that are already in place, and then sort of juggle around the other one so that there's similar tasks are done at similar times, or similar locations are done at similar times. See if you can get those themes into routines using mine as inspiration, but of course remember that your own personal routines are going to be unique to you. So it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to this, but honestly, when I switched to mornings are work, afternoons are for household stuff, like, it completely changed the game. I love that I chunk up my days into specific themes, and I know when I can do stuff and when I need to do something else. And I love that I was able to take Amy Lantito's calendar blocking and put it in my paper planner. So if you like this video, I'm working on another one for moms and other people with varied schedules who can't always put in the same thing at the same time, because I have 6 kids, things pop up. I know what it's like to have a schedule that changes. So if that's something that you would like, make sure you subscribe. Just hit that little red button, that's all you need to do. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll be the first one to know when that video comes out. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, please subscribe, and share this with someone you think might be interested in calendar blocking in a paper planner. Have a fantastic day and happy planning. Oh, that's gone